Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Big Chonis. You guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Big Chonis. These are my best ideas. I take technical analysis very seriously. Do your own research. How's my sound quality here? I have a new mic rig set up here. I think we're pretty good here. That sounds pretty good. All right, so I wanted to start today's show on Bitcoin longs because we've been trying to watch the longs and the shorts, and we're trying to find some sort of a divergence where we can understand if the bullish sentiment is continuing or if bearish sentiment has returned once again from this really nice good move we're having. Let me pull the mic a little closer. Okay, that should be a lot better now. Thank you. So what we've seen, and this is on the 4-hour chart of the Bitcoin longs available on Bitfinex, we have this double back-to-back, very strong conviction candles here of people pulling long contracts on Bitcoin. Now you see our overall channel here that I've been ranging basically since April, and more or less we've been hugging this channel pretty significantly. Breakdown here, which was actually the end of April. So this was our longs basically loading up after this huge sell-off here. We kind of held a lot better over in this area over here. And now we have a situation here where we have now broken out, consolidated on this falling wedge here, a nice pennant formation, and then this is a great example where we basically touch our bottom point here, and we just rocket ship up here. So again, this is a sentiment situation here, and we can go zoom out longer, and we can see here where this point here at the end of March was our all-time high. And there's a good chance that we could be approaching another test of that area here. That's definitely a possibility. So something to keep an eye on here, because now from an indicator into point, we are in this area here of frothy buying oversold, overbought potentially in the 4-hour RSI. We've been here before, right? We don't last here that long, couple days or so, right? So this can continue. Remember, we just retested and pretty much found support still above 70. So the Bitcoin longs are still showing significant bullishness in their tendencies here. The stochastics has basically been up in the 4-hour area here for quite some time, but not that long compared to other areas here. So we're basically seeing potentially room to run in our longs as they might continue to feel they have enough strength to push a little bit higher. So let's look at shorts and see if we can decipher. Oops, that's not it. There we go. Bitcoin, BTC shorts. Yes. Okay. So we'll make this bigger. Perfect. So, all right, let's zoom out here. And there was a lot of talk, obviously, about this tremendous, potential cup, right? And handle, big saucer here. Scooping, start here, comes all the way up, breaks the previous high here, and then basically finds a nut top. And all right, so now we're saying, okay, well, the handle must be being put in here. And we're expecting something like a short handle here, and then the shorts continue, and there it is, we got that. But no, they were basically stopped out here and have continued on this basically downward slide, because every time the shorts have loaded up since the end of June heading into July, they've gotten slaughtered. I mean, this is an example here where a lot of people had short contracts, and the 4-hour, in like what, 1 day, 1.5 days here, this was tremendous liquidation. This was like hundreds of millions of dollars here, liquidation. A little pause, and then like a couple hundred more down here. So And then, so all right, so I guess that's over. And then they load back up again. And then, I mean, this is a quick rejection here, you know. And then they kind of get a little frothy again. And then yesterday's move, quick rejection again. So you constantly see how if you are taking shorts out in this Bitcoin market, you have not been rewarded unless you've kept. You know, your expectations pretty much in check. Since Bitcoin broke through 7,000 last week, you know, the resilience of it maintaining this upper thrust, you know, we only corrected as low as, oh, that was the wrong one there. Well, we only corrected as low as, what, 7,200, right? So there were a lot of people that were waiting for a lower correction short term, and this bullishness just kept on going here. Now we've had some nasty wicks, right? We've had some stops taken out up here, you know, shorts, all right, and then they got stopped out when this line broke, and then we had longs, especially yesterday. In yesterday's nasty hourly, let me pull the hourly up, you can see it better. Yeah, look at this crazy. This was like at 6 p.m. This is like 2 hours before the nightly close candle. Had this nasty dump. Did have a decent bottom wick here. Volume, though, was minimal. And then you just see how he completely turned back around. So how many longs got basically stopped out down here when it broke? Was it 3? So basically, I bet you a lot of people had long positions with a stop around maybe 73.50, you know, maybe like 73.40, and that got stomped out, cleared the deck, they call it, and then allowed for this turnaround here. So we're definitely seeing, um, if you have bought the dip in this run here, if you have bought into weakness, you have been rewarded so far, right? If you bought down here, you could have sold up here, and if you bought the blood down here, you could have sold up here, and if you bought the blood down here so far, you could have sold up here as well. So you have been rewarded if you are a long this whole time, and that's why we're seeing the longs kind of, maybe they're late to the game, right? Because this pump and the longs just happened mostly after this move here, when they're basically feeling, all right, now this red line here, it's a very important line here. Let's get to a higher time frame. This is the 4 hours, good. Okay, so we'll auto here. So look at this. This is such an important line here. Let me just hide our volume. That's better. Okay, so look at, this was our $5,800 bottom we had back in February. We found support. This is our $6,500 area-ish, where we had strong support going through here. We found another support at 529 right there. I mean, to the penny, okay? So this line here is significant. And that significance broke right here with very much conviction. So right now, for the first time since our June 10th, right, break of this major red support line, we've been bashing against it, right? Bashing against it, rejection, broke, FOMO wick, right? Came all the way back down. And now we've climbed above. This is very bullish here. Above our FOMO wick, our previous high, okay? And we're now holding above our red line, and we're putting 4-hour closing candles above it as well. So this is the first time we get 4-hour closing candles above it. Let's go to the 6-hour. Ooh, look at that. We have our first 6-hour candle closings above it. Let's go to our 12-hour. 12-hour, we have our first, right? This is our first one closing above it, but our daily hasn't closed yet. So right now, if we were to close right now, we would have clearly pierced our major resistance line. There you go. Our major resistance line, and that would be very significant there. So breaking that, holding that for the rest of the day, we got 6 hours left for this candle to close, okay? Just that alone will bring more eyeballs and stuff to what we're looking at here. Now we have this overall, right there, look at that. This is another importance. Tip here, let me make this a solid line, and let's make it white. Okay, we tipped out here, we tipped out here, and now right now we basically um, tipped again right there. I mean, we're right there. We are hitting this major resistance line to the penny and have basically gotten rejected at it right there. Okay, so if you talk about an achievement of touching this white line here, which we started here at our peak at 11.7 when we were unable to put in a higher high here, and this started this downtrend. We then peaked out at 9999 when we were unable to break 10,000, except I think on one exchange, I think it broke 10,000 for a couple pennies. Um, so we basically rejection, double rejection. Actually, you can see that there are two candles there. So this is the daily. So basically, it took 2 days here to confirm this as a rejection. So right now, we are bullishly touching into day one of this major resistance line. So you got to keep an eye on that here, because we blow through this, okay, that would be significant. We blow through it, back test it, and hold it. That's also be very bullish. But we're also looking that this has defined a massive bearish move every time it's hit. Will this time be any different? Is this pattern really any different than this pattern, and really any different than this pattern, just in a shorter and lower volume time frame? Even though our volume, I like these green bars here, right? Haven't seen these this row of them at this height for quite a while, right? We had some nice movement here, but this was just low volume. This is good. This is more comparable. Look at that, to a T. Look at that. Look how high these two volume bars are. And look at our last cluster here of 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row, right? And look at that, same, like literally to the dollar almost, like same exact money flow on the same exact day. So comparable, okay, situation here potentially. But let's look at it in a different way right now. Let's see what log scale brings us. Now, log scale can be definitely useful in higher time frames here. And if we go up, oops, what's this here? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. Are we frozen here? Come on. There we go. Come on. Haha. Macintosh. Well, while this is reloading here, I just want to do shout outs in the chat room here. Very happy to see everybody watching here. Wow, 86. Wow. Jeffrey, what's up, buddy? Mirren, Andrew, Diane, Don Millionaire, Foyo, Diane, hello. Crypto Squatch, Sarah, hello. Chad, Cornholio, what's up, Carl, Sander, Tony, Tony T, Carl V, hey, David, who else we got here? Jeanette, Joe T, Limber Uncle, hey, Paul, what's up, buddy? Hey, Ali, Andrew, Bud, hey, Bud, Shazu, what's up, buddy? Hey, guys. All right, are we back here? I think we've reset our computer here. Yeah, okay, we're good. Okay, so where were we? We were on our Bitcoin. Oh, everything reset. Okay. All right, so yeah, we were talking about, that's right, we're talking about our trend support line. And now we are hitting it perfectly. And now if we go to log scale, okay, does that change anything? Well, it could, because now, let me make our line a little bit darker, and it was white. Okay, so look at that. We have our tap out here. We have our tap out here, double tap, same thing as our linear. But now we have our third tap over 8,000, potentially. You have basically, I guess if you do a little more sideways action, right at 8,000. So this is another perspective. So if you're looking at this linear scale, and I'm going to make another line here. that I know goes right there. Could I make it yellow? So look at this. So we go linear. Linear says there, right there. Linear says we just touched our massive resistance, right? A little higher. Oops. But our log suggests we can go higher. So this line, though important, may not be the actual line. This may be the actual line, but still, we're only talking about $300 more until this massive resistance line that is held very strong, since early March. So that's one way to look at that. Let's go to our parallel channel here, and let's go to our 4-hour and look at this. Okay, I have to widen my channel out now. So let's do that, and let's do that. Boom. Now let's clean this up a little bit, and let's confirm. We all know about this inverse head and shoulders here, so let me get rid of this, and let me get rid of that. And let me just confirm the top. Let's get this top of this channel here really accurate. All right, I like this touch. I like this touch. We can definitely come down a hair, though. Actually, that will coincide with that touch there. So we get two touches here, and then we get a close right at candle body. So basically, yeah, I'm right there. So, all right, I'm very confident and very comfortable with this channel line here. And you can clearly see once again, right, this top of this line here has been massive resistance. We broke it here. We broke it here. Wick on the 4-hour. Broke it here again, wick on the 4-hour. But boy, we are really close to it now, Like every time we had touched it here, except for right here where we touched it and held close, rejection again, rejection again, rejection again. So this can bash against this line. If we close above this, have we closed above it yet? Hourly, look at the hourly, okay? Rejection, but we're right there, okay? So we're not seeing any bear sell-offs yet. We're seeing the price very stable here, okay? We're seeing, what is the MA? Yeah, the MA10 right now, which is our little faint blue one here. Let me make this a little bit wider. There we go. Currently finding support. This is very short term here. Did we close over it in the 30-minute? Yeah, not even the 30. So look at even the 30-minute, this line is being very respected as strong resistance. Let's go back to our 4-hour. Let's re-engage our auto. So let's talk about support levels still. This was our last high here, 76.80, right? We broke it, okay? So that's our first level of supports we want to hold, which we currently are on this candle here, okay? Our middle channel support was very strong here. Now you see on the 4-hour, we did break it on a close. This was a very stressful time here. We had this big sell-off here after this wicked, spinning top with a fat body with a really long, nasty wick. But the buying volume came in after a couple more 4-hour candles turned the corner there. Bottom support here is now over 7,000. Remember, back here we were under 7,000. Now we're over 7,000. So our worst case bottom trend still keeps the price over 7,000. And then we always still have to acknowledge what brought us here was the break of our neckline of our inverse head and shoulders. And that still pays somewhere around $6,800 as kind of our last keep this move going with a healthy correction, bottom here. But until we start breaking down, all we can really talk about is how much farther this can go. Let's check out some other indicators to find out. So this is our RSI. Oh, channel's back. Okay, so this was our really nice bull channel. We broke it, tested as resistance once again, broke through. Now we're clearly creating a different channel here. Let's see if we can find some. So we have a resistance there. Let me go to a higher slope here of resistance. Zoom out a little bit. That's better. And that's better. Okay, so we got, oops, keeps doing that. I'm just gonna get rid of this channel here because really we've already like broken through that. So, you know, we're definitely doing clearly a flag. I wanna compensate for this break here. Yeah, so we broke there, but we were able to find support here. Okay, so basically this test at 54 and then this retest and retest. So right now and this is shown as resistance broken, retested. So this confirms 54. So 54, 55 on the 4-hour RSI. That's a very strong support right now. We bounce from it here, we bounce from it here, and now we're hitting this rejection line right here. Oh, I'm going to get rid of that. There, I like this better here. So we have a strong floor and we have a sloping ceiling here, very tight, okay? So if we break this line here bullishly, you know, that's another bullish indicator here. And then we can basically be talking about getting back above, you know, into our green here. Where are we? Yeah, something like that. So this is like our next upper super bullish area of resistance if we break this here. But right now this line of resistance is holding, so we'll keep an eye on that. Another test of that, another rejection, could bring this back down to test our 55 there on our 4-hour RSI. Let's look at our stochastics. Now, uptrend with a bearish fake out cross, another bearish fake out cross, and now is this a third bearish fake out cross? Because this is a bearish cross here, but we've seen 2 other times where it did a bearish cross and then it faked this out and kind of kept running there, you know? So that's interesting. Higher time frame, let's go to the daily. And then we'll start taking some of your alt requests and any questions you guys have in the chat room, so you can start loading that up. So we have a bull cross still on our daily stochastics. Remember, we've been up here for 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we've been up here for about 5 days. We were up here 1st to 9th. So we were up here for almost 9 days 2 weeks ago. So there is precedent to do another bull cross continuation, come back over, and do a second tuck, and then come down somewhere towards the end of July. You know, because right now we're dancing bullishly still on our daily stochastics. Okay, let's do a little Litecoin. Which chart did I want to use? Yeah, we'll start with this one here. What's going on here? Let's look at our 4-hour. And what happened here? Oh, that was... Okay, yeah, this is interesting. You know, so in trying to channel bearish divergence with Litecoin, you know, you see how it's not rising as quick when Bitcoin is popped, and its sell-offs are stronger when Bitcoin liquidates, and continuation of this bearish trend, you know, is at hand here, where we are just unable to break back into, you know, our more healthier bull channels. So right now here is our, okay, we're flagging. I would not call this a bull flag at this point, just because how long our flag has flown, if you will, in terms of our pull here. I mean, maybe, but just a continuation of this rejection here, right? Can't get back up into here. This is where we want to be. This is our bull channel up in here. We almost did, right? We broke it here, and we just roared back in. This was an awesome move, 75 to 95 almost. I think 94 and change, right? 20 bucks, you know, in what, 3 days? You know, it's been a while since we've had a Litecoin move like that. And now we're just declining, declining, declining. So the bearishness continues with Litecoin. It's evident in the Litecoin Bitcoin ratio still. You know, Bitcoin rose today, Litecoin did not rise with it, and that's being denoted here by this red candle. We'll do Ethereum, and then we'll get to the chat room. Where is Ethereum? ETHUSD, which one was the one? Yeah, so again, this is another example of where we broke out of so this was our bull channel here, we broke out. This was our next bull channel, we broke out, and now we're in kind of this, I mean, let's even, I guess, all right, so let's give it the benefit of the doubt here, and we'll draw bullish again. That's not what, there we go. Yes. Oops, I did that reverse. Wow, mouse problems. There we go. There we go. Do I like any of this? Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's something like that. I mean, I guess I would do that. I click that plan. Yeah, see, this is just, it's just tight price action here. You're just not getting that follow through with Ethereum. I mean, it's hugging this area. That's very important, but we're still seeing similar with Litecoin, you know, Bitcoin's having a pretty good day, and yet Ethereum is just having a crappy red sell-off candle once again. So, you know, these are things we got to keep an eye on. Are we pumping here? Oh, we're pumping. Oh, we're pumping. All right, so let's take a peek here at Bitcoin. 77. Oh, are we going to break 7,800 here? Let's zoom in here, get a little closer. Yeah, okay, so we just broke our morning high. Let's go even closer. Let's take that a 3-minute just to get crazy. Oh yeah, so we had a nice volume spike here. We're having some continuation here. Let's see if we can match this bar, okay, with follow through, okay? Is this a one-time push here, or we kind of match this bar here with follow through? So keep it coming here. We got 2 more minutes left in this candle here. That's what we want to see, continuation. This green candle here, remember, this is a 3-minute chart, okay? Nothing followed through with it. No more money flow followed through. This area here, we got red follow through. So let's see some back-to-back green follow through here. We have not seen that yet this morning, right? Or since the last night. What's going on here? We're fighting it. The bulls want to push this thing. Red, red, green, red, green. We got a minute left in this candle here. So we want to see bull follow through. We don't want to see bear sell off. We don't want to see bearish taking profits in this last pump here. Remember, every sell off has been rewarded. We just broke this morning. We were at 7786. We just hit 70. Did we hit 78 on the dot? Wow. 7,800 on the dot on Bitstamp. All right, we'll stick with this here for another 40 seconds here just to see how the second 3-minute follow-up candle, right? If we can close continued bullish momentum, or if we kind of sell off here and call it a day. Oops. $20 seconds to go here, and then we'll switch it up. Look in the chat room here. All right, we got some altcoins to take a look at. No problem, guys. 8. Closing green. Closing green. 6, 3, 2, 1. Denied. Oh, closed it red. All right, so this is interesting here. You know, we wanted some more bull follow through. You know, so let's see if this can be bought into, and we'll see if this push can continue. Let's do some alts here, guys. Once again, thank you so much for joining me in the chat room here. Sarah, let's do some ICX. 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 All right. Keep an eye on Bitcoin too. Let me know if anything crazy happens. All right, so let's get off the 3 minute. The 3 minute looks pretty bearish, but I would not use that as a counter tool. But yes, the 3 minute chart is definitely continued. Yikes, you know. But let's get to higher time frames, right? A little more reasonable time frames here. So let's look at the hourly chart here. Ouch. Okay, so we're having this continued sell-off. Okay, now we had a low here, 721, right? We broke it once again. Okay, so we're putting in a lower low here on our hourly. Let's zoom out to our daily. Whoa, okay, so, and let's auto this. There we go. Okay, so let's get rid of this guy. I always forget to do that. All right, so let's take a kind of a longer term perspective here. Here was our ICO. Here was our listing on Binance. What an amazing pump that was. I mean, we're talking... whoa, can't even see it here. We're talking a nice 800%, right? Runner, okay? Love those, okay? And, you know, did smart money know when to sell at the top? Because when we can look at this here, you know, strong rejection here at about 8,000 Satoshi level. You know, that was really nasty. Tried to push it a couple times, couple FOMO wicks, but could not break through. And we've come all the way back down. Now this support line was very strong. It held, it broke, it came back up, you know, kind of similar to something what Bitcoin's doing right now, where it broke, right? It came back up, it shooted up, and then it quickly reversed when it hit a strong resistance right here at 3,500. And it continued down. So because we are putting in now a lower low, there's nothing that says that this cannot go lower than its original listing area around 1,000 Satoshi, with a bottoming of around 560 here. So this is a real issue with this coin right now, that the liquidation continues. Now we are very oversold on our RSI. Never been down here before. We do have a double touch here. Okay, lower low on our price, barely a higher low on our RSI. I mean, a slight hint of bullish divergence, but like not really. I wouldn't bank on that. And yeah, I mean, our stochastics is a slight uptick, but I'm not seeing anything here. So this is more of an R versus R play. You know, it's been beaten down if you want to play around with it, but there's nothing that says this cannot go significantly lower, you know, any kind of a long-term hold. Bitcoin. Let me just take a quick look here at Bitcoin. I'm very fascinated. What's going on here? What did we just do? Did we just, are we holding up here? We have a strong rejection here. What's going on? Let's go back to our 3 minute. Hello. Okay. Okay. So listen, how low is that? 76.38. What do we top out at? 78. So a couple $100 there, you know. Cleared some, you know, here's the thing. People, okay, so they're buying up, right? They're raising their stop loss. They're raising their stop loss. They're raising their stop loss. So maybe you had your stop loss here now and you just got stopped out on your long, which is probably fine because you made profit probably if you got stopped out there because you've been rewarded so far if you've been long. But so our follow-up volume after that last speak was clearly a profit taking, right? kind of volume there. So let's see if we can recover. Where did Bitcoin find support, and is it meaningful? Right here is where it stops. So interesting. So see this wick here? This was our previously lower wick, right? So you dump the price a couple of bucks below to take out a lot of stops, I bet you, that were a couple of bucks under this wick here. You know, they figure, oh, if it breaks this previous low support, I'm gonna sell, and because it's a trend change. But in actuality, it broke lower, and now actually we're moving back up again. So even though this is a nasty flip wick here, stop loss hunter, which it clearly was and was probably very effective, this is still a bullish momentum here. Now let's see if the blood being bought is rewarded once again, because so far it has been. There's nothing yet to suggest this trend is not going to continue until we start putting in lower lows. We just haven't done that yet. Back to the chat here. Let's see here. What do we do? Where are we? Okay, so that was, we did that. We did that. Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash. Miriam, hello. Thank you for joining. Where are we? Bitcoin Cash BCH. Oh, look why it's so weird. Now let's get off of the 3-minute here, right? Let's go to the hourly. Take a peek here. Okay, so this is Bitcoin Cash, BCH, USD. Okay. So let's talk about patterns for a second here. Let's go to our head and shoulders. And why is my background so... Whoa, hello. That's better. That's better. So we had clearly a nice head and shoulders here. And so if that was going to play out, how can we track that? I just like to use just a clear trend line here. So this is our head, and I would say this is our neck, right? So we're going to copy that, same, and if we kind of extend... Sorry everybody, we're back. My computer just crashed, and I think we should be up and running in just a second here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's give it one more second. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. So we were talking about this pattern here of the head and shoulders, and we wanted to see it play out with the same neckline to headline decline, and we didn't get that far. We actually got we didn't go as far down as the completion of this head and shoulders would have suggested. Okay, so maybe the completion hasn't even completed yet. Maybe this is where it has to complete, coming down here. Now we have seen this kind of a broadening wedge here, right? Maybe it's a flag. I mean, this is definitely a widening flag here. Let me get rid of this guy here. There we go. And this guy here. And, you know, through our uptrend, Bitcoin Cash was the most bullish of our previous uptrend back in April there. Yeah, this is interesting here. So we have this kind of broadening wedge. You know, it could be a clear bear flag there as well, you know, but it's a bear flag. Oh, maybe I can just do this, right? I guess that makes a little more sense. Yeah, okay. So we're breaking through our flag here. This is bearish. We just back tested it as well with this candle, and we were rejected, okay? This trend line has held support. We break it, we back test it, and we reject. So this is another bearish indicator here on Bitcoin Cash, that now this line is a very firm rejection point. Let's take a look at our our higher time frame. Other indicators, we have a bearish stochastic cross, right? We have a down ticking RSI as well. So these are something here that you want to keep an eye on here. But right now, this is definitely turning a little bearish. Let's go to Neo. What's up, Limber Uncle? Neo. There we go. So similar. I mean, this is a similar altcoin sell-off here. There we go. I mean, look at all this red here. You know, even your bottom kind of capitulation bounces here have been dumped into again. There's nothing stopping this bearish trend right now. We are stochastically dropping. We can still go flatline here for a while, and our RSI once again is testing. Actually, I'd go even a little lower here. I think it has more room to fall as well before it double bottoms here. Now, you want to put in a higher low maybe than this previous one here back on 721. That's your best case here. There's still nothing in the chart that's showing bullish or any kind of trend change turnaround, right? Because we've retraced 100% from here. If we had held a higher low, we could start talking about upper areas. But this retracement clearly puts lower areas back in play. We're now back to this cluster of price volume here, okay? And if we break that, I mean, we could be talking about, you know, our super nut bottoms here, which is another 50% drop. So there's nothing. Yeah, your next major support's right around 37.50 area is your next area of some liquidity here. So this is falling like a rock, okay? It's oversold, but it's not heavily oversold, okay? And the daily suggests that as we looked at on the RSI there. So it's going down with potentially more downward exposure there. Cornholio QKC, let's check it out. Where is QKC? Do I even have that here? QKC. Ah, my first chart of a QKC chart. Okay, all right, so let's take a look. This is the daily. ICO at the beginning of June. Has not found a bottom yet because we're putting in a lower low here, right? This was 850. This was 886. 850, 886. Okay, so we actually are putting in a slight higher low on this candle than our wick here back on 7.4. You know, and that's kind of the ball game there. You keep this 2% pitch here in height, and maybe you can start building on that. Otherwise, if this breaks and the volume really isn't showing up yet, okay, then we're just still back into an area of basically initial price discovery. Our OBV here is basically showing, you know, some liquidation as well. And our daily, we're just beginning to potentially put in a bull cross on our stochastics because we have leveled out some here and we have lessened the bloodletting here. So building a base of support in the 900 Satoshi range is basically the next battle that this coin wants to achieve. And we can talk about building higher from there. Just very young coin here, not a lot of history, at least on this exchange. So it could be, you know, a trade opportunity, but it's risky because there's just not a lot of price history, and price discovery could definitely bring this coin a lot lower. Let's take a look here. We did Neo, we did that one. Sophia wants EOS USD, not a problem. Oh, it is raining like crazy right now outside. I hope I don't lose power. EOS USD. Okay, now I remember this. I actually put out this tweet a couple days ago in regard to a potential head and shoulders inverse forming where we were coming down here And we have slowly turned the corner, but we're putting in these nasty bearish wicks. Let me just hide this for a second here. This is the daily, and right now this is a really nasty wick we're putting in on the daily. Now granted, we still have about 5 hours to go, but this could be basically another rejection right here. And look at that. That actually is a very strong rejection area where we topped, where we topped out there. Right here. Yeah, look at that. Support. We broke it, found support, broke it, resistance, double resistance. So $8 and like 40 cents. It's been very strong resistance. However, we do have this tightening equilibrium pattern here. It's not that great because we had a low, we had a high, we had a lower low, we had a lower high. So it's tightening, but it's still in a declining pattern here. Indicators, stochastics are tight. Could be a bull cross, but could be bouncing off. Remember, these can deflect off each other and continue a little more bearish sentiment that year. RSI is definitely stable, basically reflecting the stability of the price action in this area for quite some time. Let's take a look here. Pedro Torres wants some LOOM. Look at some XLM. There we go. And, you know, I'm trying to figure out, you know, based on our wave one here, maybe what kind of a wave we could be putting in here, and then what our overall potential top-off wave could be on our last run here if this is kind of our bottom. But we're not really there yet because, as you can see, we're clearly creating... Actually, let me go to a 4-hour here. Get off the daily for a second here. Yeah, so we're finding this stiff resistance right here on this line. But we are finding some decent support here. We were, at least. We blew through that. So we can widen this here to here. Yeah, so we're definitely in this tight triangle here, where mostly candle bodies are being rejected up here and mostly candle wicks are being supported down here, okay? And we're getting very close to our apex. You know, on our 4-hour, this basically finishes up tomorrow. So we broke through, remember, our Andrews pitchfork with fair conviction. We back tested it, which I love to see, and then we bounced very bullishly off there. That's a great example of a bullish back test and then shoot right up there. Okay, but we don't want to come back into this. You know, we don't want to come and create a similar pattern as what, you know, Ethereum Classic was doing as well, where it broke out bullish and basically was falling right back into its resistance area. So as this apex tightens here on this fairly symmetric triangle right now, you know, keep an eye on that. Okay, what else we got here? Connor, nice to have you in the house here. Chief Hightower, don't FOMO if you missed out. Move on. That's good advice. That's good advice. Ali, I'm putting together a great list of some TA books that have definitely helped me. Some books that Ched and I have kind of been able to share with each other in terms of candlestick patterns, charting patterns, overall market psychology. I mean, these are things that you want to incorporate into your trading tools. You know, there's so much great references, and not just with books. I mean, videos. You know, some people learn better through videos. Some people learn better through visualization, or being able to actually hold something or just see it in 3D. Are other ways people can get a better sense of things. You know, when I was trying to learn certain patterns and techniques, being able to see it in a book and then being able to explain to me potentially in a video or several videos, you gotta get a better all-around perspective on, you know, the certain topic that you're trying to study. So we'll go back to Bitcoin here for a second here. Remember, we broke. Look at that. We broke through and we were rejected again on our major Major. This is such a major line here. A resistance line here. 4-hour chart. We're putting in this spinning top here. We have an hour left to go in this candle. Let's look at our hourly here. Our hourly did pierce. You know, it did pierce, but could not close above. So this line holds. Our price action is tight though. Even though we were watching the 3-minute there to see kind of what happened in that candle, another bull hour. You know, this is a bull hour. We got 6 minutes to go so far. This is an important candle here. Because if this is a high volume candle. This past hour was a high volume candle. You want it to close green, right? You want that to close green. Because look at this. Look at this. Look at how yesterday's candle closed green, but barely. Low was 7336. Open was 7398. So the close was 7399. So it closed bullish by $1, like under $1. Okay, just to make yesterday's candle nice and green instead of icky and red. Okay, so today's candle, you know, this is the daily, massive, still huge, still green. Okay, we have a short wick here still. Okay, nothing big yet. You know, it's definitely a nice little support there. Our upper wick here is not very long yet. We are being rejected currently by this line here. Daily close today is going to be interesting because in 4 hours from now, 5 hours from now, when this closes, the length of this wick here is going to determine how much of a shooting star candle potentially this could be. If we close towards the top, if we close above this line here, that'd be super mega bullish, like a super mega bullish looking candle, you know. Let's go back to longs and shorts for a second here, just to see how they reacted to that last Bitcoin move. So longs definitely took some off the table there. See, this wick is much longer, right, than Bitcoin's current wick. Shorts are rising. Shorts are getting a little more frothy here. They're basically getting a little more confident. The daily, they have a nice bottom wick here, a good bottom bull momentum here on the shorts. So we're going to see if they get a little more strength behind them as well. Travis Beck, sorry, let's do some TRX. TRX, there we go. Okay, let's see. Okay, so still another tough day for TRX. Remember, we talked about wanting to hold in the 786 fib area. That has held the price for about 4 days here. We had a little bounce above before we hit it, got rejected here. This is still very bad because we're now breaking through or kind of are into our last support area here before our next support area, which could be down in the 350 zone if this area doesn't hold. Our daily RSI continues to fall. We're now at 24, and that is an all-time low on the daily. Our histogram is still very bearish and not yet a sign of a turnaround. And yeah, there's still nothing suggesting any kind of a turnaround. We're not seeing, I mean, in the 4 hour, we have a slight stochastics uptick here. It just fell apart there. I love that. So yeah, it's fighting right now. It wants to hold 450. You know, Troners want to hold 450 right here. Watch this little hammer on the 4 hour. We had some over here, right? But we just rolled over again. So watch this hammer, how it forms. If it can form a break of 450, and 350 can definitely be in the cards. All right. Scroll. Chad Phillips. Scroll. What is scroll? Let's take a look. I know I've never done that. SC. Scroll is definitely not on TradingView. What exchange is Scroll being traded on? Can anybody tell me what market Scroll is being traded on? We can get back to that one there. Yeah, the videos really are an important part there, absolutely. Hey Massimo, how's it going, buddy? Let's see here. Excellent. We did EOS. Let's see. We did that one. SCRL. SCRL. Yeah, CRL. Yeah, see, Scroll is not yet on Trading View. I just want to make sure I got everybody's requests. Scroll, Ven. We did Ven. We did Ven, right? Did we do Ven chain? Did we do Ven chain? I don't even remember if we did Ven chain or not. I don't think we did here. Well, if we didn't, then I'll just briefly say I like seeing this line hold. Bottom line. Let's keep it going. Bear volume. This is capitulation volume here. Stochastics still bearish though. The daily should have turned, right? Yeah, the daily's bullish. Saw that was coming. But careful, this can turn quickly as well. Hotbit, which sucks. Yeah. All right. So listen, I'll probably do a chart on Scroll. I'll tweet out a chart on Scroll. You know, if it's not on Trading View, I really don't like to chart it because then I have to go to the actual exchange and chart it from there. But we can definitely do some BNB. Request from Ion Askew Christian. BNB. Now this is the Binance token. Oops. BNB. Wow. So, you know, remember this pump here. Remember this thing went nuts. And I bet a lot of people just went crazy on it at this top here, too. Where are we finding support? What is our white line here? So we're just touching the 200 MA close on the daily chart. A lot of people are looking at this right now, people. So BNB 200 MA on the daily first time touch is always going to be very strong support. Right here at 15,500 Satoshi level here. Watch to see if the bear volume turns into bull volume. There could be some loading at this point here. Let's see if our RSI still pointed down. Clearly all-time low. Very oversold here. This last spike down is very vicious here. This is setting up for a V bottom bounce. Yeah, no doubt this is going to set up for a V bottom bounce. Look at our stochastics, okay? Dead stick. The first sign this blue line starts to tilt up. Yeah, the 4 hour hasn't tilted up. 1 hour. There we go. Yeah, look at that right there. You're going to see some buying right now, I bet you, in BNB. I kind of like it here. I like hitting the 200-day on a high time frame, like the daily, right? It's the first time it's touching it. So this is strong support here. Now our resistance line is right here, right? Confirm that. Yeah, this is where we started it. This is where we held it. This is where we were so bullish we didn't even touch it. This is where we broke it here, right? So that's going to be your resistance if we have a massive run and a nice V bottom here, if the price can get up there right now. Remember, this is a tricky coin here because this is a Binance coin. This is like a Binance creation coin. There's a lot of funky stuff going on this one here. The volatility could be interesting, but I bet you a lot of traders are also noticing the 200-day being hit and supported currently. Hey Pan, how's it going? Hey John. All right, so we've been on for an hour. Thanks guys for joining me. I think we kind of wrap the show up. Let's take one last look here at Bitcoin. And since we were looking at that 3 minute, let's just take a quick look back at our little 3 minute candle here. Okay, so look at, we had our top off, we had our dump. Not that much of a dump though. I mean, come on, we basically stopped out our longs right here. This is our long stop out. We're crawling back up, okay? We have a lower low currently. If we break above 77.99, this is another example of where buying the blood so far has been paying off. But this could be a very strong rejection. 78 on the dot. That's interesting. 7,800 on the dot. And remember, the biggest line of resistance that we all want to keep an eye on is how we close the daily in regard to this white line here, which is right at 8,000. It's acted as very strong resistance in the past. Remember, we have a wick here. We have 2 wicks here. We have no wick yet on this daily candle. So in the next several hours, we either break through crazy bullishly, which would be great, or a firm rejection will produce a pretty decent upper wick here. And that will definitely show potential of a turnaround correction. So, thanks for joining me, guys. If you really enjoyed this program, please give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate your support. I am working on a mentoring program. I will announce some more information on it very shortly. Just putting some of the finishing touches on it. But I get a lot of questions from people, asking me, can I help them trade? How did I learn how to trade? What are the resources and the references that I like to use in terms of trading? And I'm kind of trying to figure out how I can best get that information across to everybody in a way that's beneficial to all. So until next time, remember, Bitcoin is a heartbeat. All you need to do is trade the pulse. We'll talk to you soon.